The lion is the apex predator of the African savanna. Every other animal on that continent knows it. The zebra knows it. The wildebeest knows it. Even the hyena, which is arguably just as dangerous, knows it. But there are animals out there that didn't get the memo. Animals that a lion will see coming, read carefully, and choose to walk away from, not out of weakness. Out of a survival instinct sharpened over millions of years that says very clearly, this one is not worth it. Some of them are going to make obvious sense. A couple of them are going to genuinely surprise you. All 10 of them have real documented encounters, footage, field research, scientific papers that back up exactly why even the king of the savannah gives them a wide berth. This is Untamed World, and these are the 10 animals even lions fear. Number 1. The African elephant. Let's start with the obvious one, and then take it somewhere you haven't been before. An adult male African elephant stands 3.3 meters at the shoulder and weighs up to 6,000 kilograms. A large male lion weighs around 190 kilograms. That's a size difference of 30 to 1. So yes, lions are cautious around elephants. Nobody is shocked by that. What most people miss is everything that actually happens between these two animals in the wild, because it is far more complicated and far more fascinating than elephant big, lion scared. Lions do hunt elephants. Not often, but it happens, and when it does, it's one of the most extraordinary things the African savanna produces. In the Savannah region of northern Botswana, a pride developed a specialization that researchers described as among the most sophisticated cooperative hunting ever documented. In large cats, they learned to hunt full-grown adult elephants at night, using darkness to offset the size difference, coordinating in ways that took researchers years to fully map. A pride of 20 lions was documented killing an adult elephant cow, not a calf. Not an elderly animal at the edge of the herd, a healthy adult female. It remains one of the most analyzed predation events in African wildlife research. But that is the extreme end of a very rare spectrum. For most lions, the calculation around elephants is completely different. An adult elephant isn't just enormous, it's weaponized. Tusks on a bull can reach 2.5 meters and weigh 45 kilograms each. A trunk can send a full-grown lion airborne. The feet can crush. And elephant herds move as a unit, led by the oldest female, whose memory holds decades of predator behavior. She knows what lions look like, what they smell like, how they move when they're hunting, and she positions her herd accordingly. Adults ring outward to protect calves, and that wall of bulk and ivory is something even a large pride won't push against. In 2014, at South Luangwa National Park in Zambia, a young elephant named Hercules was attacked by 14 lionesses at once. 14. The safari guides who filmed it said they'd never seen anything like it. The lions clawed at him, leaped onto his back, worked in waves. Hercules fought. And despite being outnumbered 14 to 1, he escaped completely unharmed. The lions walked away with nothing. That's the real story of lions and elephants. Not fear exactly, more like a cold calculation. The risk of a tusk through the rib cage, a trunk launching you across the ground, a foot driving you flat. It doesn't add up. And lions, for all their power, are smart enough to know when the math doesn't work. If you've made it this far, please consider liking the video and subscribing to our channel. It's completely free, and we bring new videos about our country. Number 2, the Cape buffalo. The Cape buffalo has a nickname across the African bush. They call it the Black Death. That is not an exaggeration. That is a field assessment. It weighs up to 900 kilograms. The horns fuse at the base into a solid, bony shield called a boss, a dense helmet of bone that a bullet will deflect off, and from that shield, 2 curved horns sweep outward, each capable of driving through flesh and muscle and bone with devastating force. It is not elegant, it is not fast, it does not need to be. What it is built entirely for impact and entirely for refusing to lose. Lions hunt buffalo regularly. Buffalo make up a huge part of lion diet across their shared territory. But hunting buffalo is not like hunting zebra or wildebeest, where contact more or less settles it. A buffalo hunt is a genuine two-sided contest, and the lions that do it carry the evidence. Broken ribs, gored flanks, punctured shoulders. Lions have been killed by single buffalo in one-on-one fights that went the wrong way. And a herd of buffalo, unlike most herd animals, doesn't just run and leave its weakest member behind. It comes back. In September 2004, Tourists at Kruger National Park filmed what became the most watched wildlife video in internet history, a video that has now been seen by over 90 million people, called the Battle at Kruger. A group of young lions grabbed a buffalo calf near a watering hole. The calf went into the water, 2 crocodiles joined in briefly, and the lions eventually got it back onto the bank. The herd had scattered. It looked like it was over. Then the herd came back. Dozens of buffalo surrounded the lions. One charged and launched a lion into the air, then another, and another. One by one, the lions were scattered and driven off, until the calf impossibly, after everything struggled free and was absorbed back into the herd. 2 veterinarians who spoke to Time magazine after the video went viral confirmed this behavior isn't unusual. Buffalo herds routinely return for threatened members. What's remarkable is who returns normally competing males, dominant bulls and bachelor males, who would be fighting each other on any other day, unite completely against an outside threat. A lion that grabs a calf doesn't just face that calf. It faces every decision that herd has ever made together. Number 3. The Nile crocodile. Every predator has a domain. The lion owns the land, the grass, the thicket, the open savanna at dusk. And there is a rule in that domain, as old as Africa itself. The water belongs to something else. The Nile crocodile has been on this planet for roughly 200 million years. It survived whatever killed the dinosaurs. It has watched every major extinction event in the Cenozoic era from the bottom of a riverbed and come out the other side unchanged. An adult reaches 5 to 6 meters in length, weighs up to 750 kilograms, and bites with over 5,000 pounds per square inch of force, the strongest bite of any living animal on Earth. Nothing that goes into those jaws comes back out under its own power. Lions know this. Generations of lions know this, not because they were taught it, but because the ones that didn't learn it didn't survive long enough to pass on their genes. A lion approaching a waterhole behaves completely differently from a lion moving through open grass. It studies the surface before drinking. It chooses its spot carefully, away from deep banks and heavy vegetation. It drinks fast. It keeps cubs back. It is, in that moment, suspended between predator and prey, and it behaves accordingly. The crocodile's weapon isn't just brute force, it's the ambush, the eruption from still water that looks like nothing, the strike that has to land before the lion can react, because a fully alert lion on dry ground is a different problem entirely. But at the water's edge, distracted, head down, that window exists and crocodiles have been taking it for 200 million years. Both species have killed the other in documented encounters. What exists between them isn't dominance, it's territory. Each is the absolute apex authority in its own environment, and both of them have learned, at considerable cost over evolutionary time, exactly where those environments end. Number 4. The hippopotamus. Here's a fact that surprises almost everyone the first time they hear it. The animal that kills more humans per year in Africa than any other large mammal is not the lion. It's not the leopard. It's not even the crocodile. It's the hippopotamus. The round, seemingly slow animal that spends most of its day half submerged, looking completely unbothered by everything. That animal kills more people than all of the above combined. Lions do not hunt hippos. This is not a food availability issue. There are hippos everywhere lions live. It is a decision lions have made, at the species level, based on what happens when you try. A male hippo weighs up to 3,000 kilograms. It can run 30 kilometers per hour on land, which is faster than most people expect from something that looks like a gray boulder with legs. Its canine teeth reach 50 centimeters. Its bite force, roughly 1,825 pounds per square inches, is strong enough to bite a crocodile clean in half, which they have been documented doing. And unlike most large animals, hippos don't follow an escalating threat sequence before they attack. There's no posturing, no warning display that builds gradually to violence. A hippo that feels its space has been invaded simply attacks, immediately, without the preamble that most animals give you time to read and respond to. That unpredictability is the thing. Lions are extraordinarily good at reading threats, at calculating risk, at knowing when an animal is bluffing and when it isn't. A hippo doesn't bluff. It doesn't have a bluff, it just goes. And lions that have been on the wrong end of that have been found dead from a single bite the contest over before it began. One documented bite. That's all it took. After enough of those, the species-level decision becomes simple. Leave the hippo alone. Number 5. the honey badger. Now we leave the world of size and weight and arrive somewhere far more interesting. Because the next animal on this list weighs about 12 kilograms. You could carry it under one arm. And at Kapama Private Game Reserve in South Africa, a pride of 13 lions spent nearly an hour trying to subdue one and gave up. The honey badger looks, in most photos, like a skunk crossed with a very confident small dog. The Guinness World Records has listed it as the world's most fearless animal. That's not a cute distinction, it's a field-based assessment of documented behavior. Here's the thing about honey badger skin. It's around 6 millimeters thick across the back and neck, which already makes it extraordinarily hard to bite through. But more importantly, it's loose. Dramatically, unusually loose, the skin fits the honey badger the way an oversized coat fits a child. When a predator bites a honey badger on the neck and holds on, the honey badger can rotate its entire body around inside its own skin, turning to face whatever is holding it and bite back. Lions have been documented clamping down on a honey badger, holding it, feeling it reverse inside its own skin, and releasing it because suddenly they were the ones being bitten. The skin also resists bee stings, porcupine quills, and in one documented case in the Kalahari, the venom of a Cape cobra, one of Africa's most lethal snakes. The honey badger was bitten, collapsed, and lay still. Then it got up, walked away, and resumed its day. The rangers who watched the 13-lion encounter described the honey badger as almost taunting them, dancing forward, biting, retreating, biting again, apparently without any awareness of or interest in the fact that it was outnumbered 13-1. The pride eventually walked away, not because they couldn't have killed it if they'd fully committed, but because the cost-benefit of chasing something that kept reversing inside its own skin and biting you in sensitive areas for the reward of a 1-2 kilogram meal simply didn't add up. The honey badger has no idea that walking away from it is a compliment. It wouldn't care if it did. If you've made it this far, please consider liking the video and subscribing to our channel. It's completely free, and we bring new videos about our country. Number 6, the porcupine. There is a published scientific paper peer-reviewed, published in the Journal of East African Natural History titled Lion-Porcupine Interactions in Africa, including impacts on lion predatory behavior. It exists because this is a real problem, documented, researched, significant enough that scientists spent time and resources formally studying it. Porcupines make up between 0.5% and 34% of lion kills depending on the region and season, which tells you lions do hunt them and sometimes succeed. What the paper also documents is that porcupine quills can, and do, seriously injure and sometimes kill lions. African crested porcupine quills reach 50 centimeters. They're barbed. They're designed to break off and stay embedded in whatever they pierce. A lion that misjudges a pounce that gets quills driven into its gums, its paw pads, its eye socket, its nasal passage is a lion with an infection that medicine doesn't reach out here. Quills that aren't removed fester. Infections spread. Lions have died from porcupine encounters, slowly, from wounds that never closed. The behavioral finding in the research is the part that should stop you cold. Lion prides with prior experience of porcupine injury show measurably altered hunting behavior in future encounters. They're more hesitant, more likely to abandon the hunt before contact. And in prides, where cubs watch adults back away from porcupines, that avoidance gets passed down learned behavior that looks, after enough generations, almost like instinct. An animal the size of a medium dog, with no claws and no attacking capability whatsoever, has changed the hunting behavior of entire lion prides through nothing but the passive threat of what it carries on its back. Sit with that for a second. Number 7, the spotted hyena. Most people picture hyenas as scavengers. That image came from decades of documentary editing that showed hyenas at carcasses after the hunt and labeled them accordingly. The reality is almost entirely backwards. Spotted hyenas are apex predators. In areas with good prey density, they kill up to 95% of what they eat. The scavenged remainder is mostly food they stole back from lions, not the other way around. They are faster than lions over distance, sustaining 60 kilometers per hour for several kilometers, a stamina no lion can match. Their jaws deliver the strongest bite force of any land mammal relative to body size. They crush bone that defeats every other carnivore in Africa. Their clans run from 10 to 100 individuals, matriarchal, hierarchical, and ferociously coordinated when they decide to take something. Lions and hyenas are not predator and scavenger. They are rival apex predators locked in a territorial war that has been running for millions of years, and both sides take casualties. Hyena clans mob and drive entire lion prides off kills. Not by overpowering individual lions, by sustaining pressure until the lions exhaust the calculation and walk away. And hyenas have killed adult male lions. Not often, not without cost, but it happens. Lions in territories with heavy hyena presence alter their behavior. They hunt later into the night. They abandon kills faster. They maintain tighter pride structure. The hyena doesn't trigger the same respect the elephant does. There's no clean size-based deference. What lions have for spotted hyenas is something more like vigilance. The awareness that the thing across the grass from you has the numbers, the stamina, the jaw, and the discipline to make this very expensive if it goes the wrong way. Number 8. The African wild dog. The African wild dog is the most successful hunter on the continent. Not the lion, not the leopard. The wild dog succeeds on roughly 80% of hunts. Lions manage around 25 to 30%. The gap between those numbers is not about strength or speed. It's about coordination, a level of cooperative hunting that makes lion pride coordination look basic by comparison. Wild dogs hunt in packs, constantly communicating during a chase through subtle behavioral signals that shift the formation in real time without alerting prey. They rotate lead runners so the pack maintains maximum speed across the entire chase, sometimes for hours. When one dog tires, another takes over seamlessly. There is no breaking point, no moment where the prey can outlast them, because the pack itself doesn't tire the way an individual animal does. Lions don't hunt wild dogs. When their territories overlap, wild dog packs will mob lion prides not to fight them, but to drive them out of hunting ground. And lions, more often than most wildlife documentaries show, move. Because standing your ground against 20 animals that communicate better than you do, that won't tire, that will absorb any individual loss and keep coming, is a calculation that doesn't favor even the largest pride. There's something in the wild dog's particular kind of relentlessness that gets under a lion's skin in a way that size alone never quite does. It is the threat of something that cannot be exhausted. And that, for a predator that depends on its prey eventually running out of options, is genuinely unsettling. Number 9. The Nile monitor lizard. This one surprises people. A lizard, on the list with elephants and hippos and hyenas, but hear it out. The Nile monitor reaches 2 meters in length. It moves fast, faster than it looks, and it already looks fast. It swims, climbs, burrows, and sprints with equal competence across every terrain it shares with lions. Its teeth are serrated and designed to tear. Its claws are sharp enough to open real wounds on large animals. And since 2005, when a broader study confirmed it for the monitor family, we've known that monitor lizards are venomous. The bite doesn't just wound. It introduces compounds that cause tissue damage and inhibit clotting, meaning even prey that escapes the initial contact doesn't escape the consequences. Lions and Nile monitors exist in a functional relationship of mutual non-interest, which in practice means mutual avoidance. The monitor is too fast, too low, too willing to fight, and too expensive to catch for what it offers as a meal. A lion trying to pin a monitor is a lion risking a tail whip that can break ribs, claws across the face and eyes, and a venomous bite whose effects stretch well beyond the moment of contact. It's not that lions are afraid of monitors the way they're cautious around hippos. It's that every time the calculation comes up, the answer comes out the same way. Not worth it. And after enough times, you just stop running the calculation. Number 10. The giraffe. Last on the list, and possibly the one that will surprise you most. Because when you picture a giraffe, you probably picture something gentle, something tall and slow and a little awkward, a beautiful animal designed for reaching leaves that other animals can't reach. Not something that makes a lion think twice. And yet a single kick from an adult giraffe can kill a lion outright. One kick. That's it. That's the whole story. And it's one that lions know better than any wildlife documentary has told you. A full-grown male giraffe weighs up to 1,900 kilograms and stands nearly 6 meters tall. Its legs, both front and back, deliver kicks with a force that researchers have estimated at around 2,000 pounds per square inch. A giraffe doesn't need to aim with precision. It doesn't need to predict your movement. A kick in any direction from any leg, connecting with any part of a lion's body, at that force is potentially fatal. Lions have been found dead on the savannah from giraffe kicks. It happens. In Clazerie Game Reserve near Kruger, a safari guide named Francois Pienard filmed a pride of lions attempting to take down a single adult male giraffe. The attack lasted 5 hours. 5 hours of lions climbing onto the giraffe's back, wrapping around its legs, trying to bring it down while the giraffe walked, shook them off, stomped at them each time they regrouped. The lions eventually gave up. Pienard called it the best sighting of his career. National Geographic interviewed Julian Fennessy of the Giraffe Conservation Foundation and David O'Connor of the San Diego Zoo's Institute for Conservation Research about the footage. O'Connor's assessment was direct. An adult male giraffe can kill them easily with one kick. The fact that the lion pride stuck with it for 5 hours, he said, showed remarkable perseverance. The fact that they failed, he said, was entirely expected. Lions do hunt giraffes, calves, and subadults regularly, adults occasionally when the opportunity is right. But a healthy adult giraffe, alert and upright, is a target that most lions read correctly. The potential reward is real, and so is the potential that one wrong step near those legs ends the hunt, ends the hunter, and ends everything. 10 animals. 10 different reasons to think twice. Some of them will overpower a lion outright. Some of them will outlast one. Some of them, the porcupine, the honey badger, will simply make the whole encounter so unpleasant and so costly that the lion's internal ledger comes out in the red, and walking away is just the smarter move. The lion is the apex predator of the African savannah. That title is real, and it is earned. But the savannah is not a simple place, and the animals that share it with the lion have had just as long to evolve, just as long to develop their defenses and their strategies, and their particular brand of dangerous. None of them got the memo about who the king is supposed to be. And honestly, that's exactly what makes this the most extraordinary ecosystem on Earth.